Hello once again. During this lecture, will be presented miscellaneous hurdles as major hurdles for food preservation. The miscellaneous hurdles that will be explained during this lecture are monolaurin, free fatty acids, cytosine, chlorine, compartmentalization, and microbially derived hurdles. Monolaurin as a miscellaneous hurdle is a food-grade glycerol monoester of lauric acid. Also, monolaurin has properties as food emulsifier. Besides its effects, has rather broad antimicrobial spectrum against gram-positive bacteria, yeast, and molds. Also, monolaurin has the greatest overall antimicrobial activity among all fatty acids and their esters. As for the application of monolaurin as hurdle, can be said that the effect of monolaurin may be increased when it is combined with other organic acids such as acetic acid, benzoic acid, and lactic acid. And the effective concentration of monolaurin is in the order of 0.001%. Other miscellaneous hurdles are free fatty acids. Some fatty acids have an inhibitory effect on bacteria depending on the degree of saturation and in the chain length. Free fatty acids, or FFA, are quite active against gram-positive bacteria, including pathogens such as Listeria monocytogenes, as linoleic acids and arachidonic acids. The levels of free fatty acids in foods in the order of 0.5 to 1% may result in detectable organoleptic changes, and when applied slightly higher concentration may be required for substantial growth inhibition. Now let's consider cytosine, which is a high molecular weight polysaccharide, and it is shown to inhibit the growth of a number of fungi in the directly manner or indirectly. In fact, due to its polymeric nature, cytosine can form films which are permeable to gases and in fact has the potential of being used as an edible coating. Chlorine is another miscellaneous hurdle, and it is not uncommon to treat food products with a chlorine wash, for example raw salad vegetables prior to modified atmospheric packaging and retail distribution. The most widely used is probably the produce is dipped for a short time in a hypochlorite solution which contains 50 to 100 ppm free chlorine. As for application of chlorine as hurdle, may be said that improve the disinfection effect, also a reduction in the solution to about a pH of 5. And in fact, in several countries, raw produce are not allowed to come in contact with the chlorine solutions. In fact, the residual chlorine after processing packaging must be below a maximum level. Related to compartmentalization hurdle, can be said that the preservation of water in oil emulsions depend to a large extent on the product structures, as for the butters, margarines, and low-fat spreads. And when produced hygienically, most of the aqueous phase droplets in such products will not contain a microorganism, and access of microorganism to a sterile droplet will be impeded by the presence of the surrounding lipid. The stability of such products then depends mainly on hygienic processing and the stable droplet structures, plus the correct distribution of droplet sizes. That may be used in addition to any preservative. When talk about microbially derived hurdles, the first to take into consideration is competitive flora, and the most striking example is fermentation. This is the process where spontaneous growth of distinct types of microorganisms may completely overgrow food. and, by their mere magnitude supported by extrinsic and intrinsic factors related to the food in question, can arrest or inhibit the growth of other microorganisms. The fermentation can also be initiated by the addition of microbial starter cultures. Considering competitive flora for application as only hurdle, can be said that it's not possible to rely only on it. The effect is only observed in connection with one or more intrinsic or extrinsic factors. The traditional foods preserved with the aid of microorganisms include many dairy products such as cheese, yogurt, etc., vegetable products such as pickles, olives, fermented sausages, wine, beer are related to the application of starter cultures. There is an increasing interest in the use of starter cultures, where microbial cultures are added also to non-fermented foods. It is nearly always combined with other hurdles, especially with chilling and curing, when starter cultures are considered for application as hurdles. Another microbially derived hurdles are bacteriocins, which are formed naturally by several types of microorganisms. Generally, the effect of bacteriocins is limited to closely related strains. Although they are never toxic, again the producing strain. Typically, bacteriocins are formed by various lactic acid bacteria. In addition, there are the colicins, formed by certain strain of Escherichia coli, which have an effect against related coliform bacteria. And the best known bacteriocin from lactic acid bacteria is nucin. As for the application of bacteriocin as the only hurdle, can be said that through the narrow effective antimicrobial spectrum, make it impossible to use bacteriocins as the only hurdle. Under microbially derived hurdles heading are included antibiotics. Generally, broad-spectrum antibiotics are prohibited for use in foods. Only very few antibiotic substances are permitted and used. Pimaricin, natamicin, is effective against yeast and molds in products undergoing ripening, for example, the case of cheese. As for the application of antibiotics as the only hurdle, can be said that are not allowed to be used. This was the lecture for miscellaneous hurdle. Thank you for your kind attention. Meeting you in the next lecture.